We formed Planned Resources around about 10 years ago. Originally, it was just me recruiting for what I knew best, which was town planners, henceforth the name Planned Resources, I guess. We originally started mainly in the consultancy sector. But again, we've moved over that time into recruiting across sort of all three sectors. So we now do a mixture of private sector consultancy work. We dabble with bits and pieces with developers. We've done a few sort of advocacy sort of roles. We do quite a bit into state government, and we also do a lot on the sort of the local government side. We cover a mixture of both sort of contract roles and more sort of permanent recruitment. So we cover practically everything you can do within planning, mainly within Victoria. Again, we do dabble into other states, and we have done placements in other states. We tend to work, I guess, a bit of a different way interstate. So whereas in Victoria, we've got the established networks, and it's more about utilisation of those networks. Interstate, it tends to be more, I guess, of an aggressive sort of almost headhunting service that we tend to offer our clients from that perspective. In terms of the other areas that we cover, we're still, I guess, predominantly planning. There are three of us that recruit within planning across sort of contract, permanent and executive. But we also cover everything, I guess, that falls off the tree within planning. So environmental approvals, heritage, urban design, general administration roles around planning enforcement. So all of those different roles we recruit quite comfortably within that space. And then as a company, we've broadened off the back of, I guess, having a good reputation within planning. We've broadened off to also recruit within, we've now got a consultant that's got sort of 20 years experience in the design space, doing sort of architects and interior designers, landscape architects, things along those lines. We've got an engineering consultant that sort of specialises in civil, structural and building services. We've got a local government consultant that does a lot of that sort of white collar recruitment allied to planning or across from planning, so regulatory services, engineering, comms and things along those lines. And we do bits in the sort of the more the business support side of things as well. So we're looking to grow by pointing sort of to the property space. So we sort of cover across a number of different disciplines again. So we operate, I guess, to our core three values. Our core three values are maturity, and that relates, I guess, to how we deal with clients and candidates on a regular basis, and being comfortable with our own expertise, and the way we can communicate those expertise to candidates and clients in having those more difficult conversations, which at times people will need to hear, which will help them make better informed choices. But some of those conversations sometimes aren't the easiest to have. So if we don't think someone's necessarily got a certain skill set, or an employer is not seen a certain way they think they are in the marketplace, being comfy having those conversations with that employer or with that employee to help guide their future choices, which is something that we need to do, but something that takes a level of maturity in how we conduct ourselves to do it. Our second value is intelligence. So there are a lot of recruiters out there. One of the things that I would say that differentiates ourselves from a lot of other recruiters in this space is we're able to add value to a person's recruitment process by giving them intelligence into the market. So what an employer is like, and being able to articulate, I guess, why a certain employer would be good for a candidate, or equally why a certain candidate would be good for an employer, and being able to articulate that in terms that they will understand. And thirdly, mutual respect. It's all, having been in this industry now for 20-something years, it's all about long-term relationships. It's not about a transactional, let me make a quick fee or let me make a quick placement. It's about genuinely looking at an employer and working out what candidate we can put with them that will last with them for a long term, and that will enhance our reputation, so they'll come back to us again and again and again. And equally with a candidate, finding, not just chucking them into a role, but finding a role that really suits and develops their career, so they start to value us as a partner, and that they'll come back to us in 3-4 years' time when they're looking for their next career their next career move and their career move beyond that, and the move when they become a manager and then start using us on the other side of the fence. So that sort of level of mutual respect, and also, to be fair, us demanding mutual respect from the employer or from the candidate, in that they value our service and they're not just treating it as a transactional a transaction from their point of view, where they're using us and 4 or 5 other agencies to do the same thing, but actually valuing our service, which again helps that sort of mutual respect and helps us develop and build a longer term relationship which both parties value.